Same platform, different price tag. But is the Lexus NX really giving you $10,000 more in value than the RAV4? Hello everyone, this is Sully from CarlandTV. It's time to hop in the front seat, because today I'm putting the RAV4 and NX head-to-head to see if badge prestige really justifies the bump in price. Before I start, I would really appreciate it if you would push those buttons below. The subscribe button, the notification bell, all of them. This is not necessary. But those little clicks help a brother out. Plus, it pushes me to give you more valuable car-related content on your screen. Now buckle up and let's get back to the video. The 2025 RAV4 and Lexus NX ride on the same platform, but once you factor in price, comfort, and drive, feel only one comes out as the better buy. This review is here to help you make the smarter call before you end up paying for stuff you don't need. Toyota's been playing this two-hand strategy for a while now. You want value, they've got the RAV4. You want upscale, they'll point you straight to the Lexus NX. And I've spent time in both, not just showroom browsing, but actual seat-time long drives, loaded weekends, and yes, traffic jams that test your patience and the cabin quality. The RAV4 kicks off at around $30,000, and if you go up to the XLE Premium, where I think it starts getting nice, you're still under $40,000. That trim brings in the good stuff, a power liftgate soft touch materials, dual zone climate, and a moonroof. It's not fancy, but it feels smart, especially when you consider Toyota's reputation for longevity. The NX, that starts at over $42,000 and climbs past $50,000 real quick once you get into the NX 350 Luxury. And while it's true, the base NX feels more premium out the gate, it also feels like Lexus baked in a premium just for the badge. That said, the 275 horsepower turbo in the NX 350 feels sharp, especially when merging or pulling uphill. The seat's tech layout and drive isolation, they're easily more refined than anything the RAV4 throws your way. But we're not just talking about gadgets, we're talking about value. And if you're eyeing your bank account after signing papers, the difference between that mid-trim RAV4 and the loaded NX can pay for a used dirt bike, a year of gas, or half a garage upgrade. Now, Toyota knows how to build a powertrain that doesn't complain. That's what I felt with the RAV4. It's running a 2.5-liter four-cylinder that makes 203 horses, and it's paired to an 8-speed auto. No frills, no issues. It cruises just fine, especially on the highway. But when I had to pass a semi on a 2-lane or merge into fast-moving traffic, it needed a second to gather itself. It's predictable, but not punchy. And that engine starts to growl when you push it hard, like it's working overtime to keep up. Then I spent time in the NX 350. Same transmission, but a different game. This one's got a 2.4-liter turbo, putting out 275 horses and a beefy 317 pound-feet of torque. Lexus didn't just tune this for numbers. They tuned it for response. You give it throttle, and it moves plain and simple. It pulls stronger off the line, feels lighter in the mid-range, and has no issue handling hills with weight in the back. 0 to 60 is in about 6.6 seconds, and yeah, you feel the difference. Handling-wise, the RAV4 feels steady, especially in daily driving. But the NX, especially in that F-Sport trim, gives you a more locked-in feel. Not sporty like a hatchback, but it feels more planted. So yeah, the NX costs more. But under the hood, you're absolutely getting what you paid for. Also, Toyota tunes the RAV4 for the kind of driving most folks actually do: suburbs, commutes, errands, the occasional road trip. When I had it out for a few days, it handled cracked pavement and uneven roads without beating me up. It's got just enough give in the suspension to stay comfortable, but it's not floaty. The steering's light, which is nice for tight spots and parking lots, but don't expect it to tell you much on winding roads. It holds its line just fine, but there's no real connection. That's not a knock, just the kind of SUV it is. It's straightforward, predictable, and built to cruise. Now, when I switched over to the NX 350F Sport, the vibe changed. You sit lower, the steering is firmer, and the whole chassis feels tighter. Lexus gives you adaptive suspension on that trim, and it actually reacts to how you're driving. Around town, it stays smooth. But if you flick it into sport mode and lean into a curve, it hunkers down and holds firm. I ran it through a stretch of winding back roads, and while it's no sports car, it definitely felt more dialed in than the RAV4. Road noise. The Lexus wins easily. It's quieter at speed, and it keeps out tire hum and wind better than the Toyota. That might not matter on short hops, but spend a few hours on the interstate and you'll notice. By the way, let me insert this. You see, gas prices were creeping past $5 a gallon the week I had both of these. So yeah, fuel economy wasn't just a spec sheet number. It was in my face every time I filled up. The RAV4, especially in front-wheel drive, consistently showed 30 to 32 miles per gallon on longer drives. EPA rates it at 27 in the city and 35 on the highway. And based on what I saw on the trip computer and how often I was stopping, I believe it. Even the all-wheel drive version I drove earlier this year barely dropped off. It hovered around 28 to 29 combined, which is still solid. Now with the NX 350, it was a different rhythm. The turbo feels great when you want to push it, but you'll pay at the pump. Lexus rates that all-wheel drive turbo model at 22 miles per gallon in the city and 29 miles per gallon on the highway, and mine landed right around 24 to 25, combined with mixed use. You can stretch that on the highway, maybe hit 28 if you're gentle, but it never sipped like the RAV4. And that's fine if you're chasing performance, but it's something you'll feel month after month if you're commuting or doing long trips. If you want to keep fuel stops few and far between, go RAV4. But if you want more grunt under your right foot and don't mind paying a little extra to feed it, that's NX territory. Now that I got that covered, let's go inside and talk about their interiors. And oh boy, interior matters, and these two go in completely different directions. The RAV4's cabin feels like it was built for real life. I loaded it up with gear for a weekend mountain run, coolers, chairs, duffel bags, all of it, and didn't even fold the seats down. When I did, it swallowed up 70 cubic feet of space without blinking. The materials won't impress anyone at valet, but they're the kind of textures and plastics you don't have to baby. My tester had Softex seats and a stitched dash panel that looked sharp enough but felt ready for muddy boots and coffee spills. Now the NX exudes different energy. This one's aimed at folks who care about design, mood lighting, and how that quilted leather feels under your palm. The NX 350 I drove had soft perforated leather wood trim and a panoramic glass roof that made it feel less like a compact SUV and more like a lounge on wheels. Everything is quieter, tighter, more insulated. But I had to pack a little smarter. With 46.9 cubic feet max cargo space, I couldn't just throw everything in and go. Rear seat room's fine for adults, but it's cozier than the RAV4. If I'm doing family trips, dog runs, or hauling sports gear, the RAV4 wins on utility hands down. If I'm commuting solo or taking clients to lunch, the NX makes me feel like I leveled up. Let's connect things. You see, Toyota also has been stepping up its game on the tech front, and the 2025 RAV4 doesn't feel outdated anymore. The XLE premium trim gives you a 10.5-inch touchscreen, while the base LE sticks with an 8-inch unit. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard, which is a big win. The system is responsive and easy to navigate, though the graphics are still pretty basic. You also get a 7-inch digital gauge cluster in most trims, and if you go all the way up to the Limited, it upgrades to a 12.3-inch digital display. Optional features include a JBL premium sound system navigation and key wireless charging depending on trim. Now the Lexus NX goes bigger and flashier. Even the base model starts with a 9.8-inch touchscreen, and the luxury trim cranks that up to 14 inches, and it's one of the sharpest, cleanest UIs in the segment. Lexus also gives you a 10-speaker sound system standard or an optional 17-speaker Mark Levinson setup that hits hard. Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto are standard too, and the NX adds voice assistant capability head-up display and more customization with ambient lighting. And I drove both of these in heavy traffic, late-night highways, and a few bad weather days, and this is where Toyota's safety tech really earns its stripes. The RAV4, even in mid-trim form, comes packed with stuff like pre-collision braking lane departure warning, adaptive cruise, and road sign assist. The adaptive cruise held speed well and didn't feel jerky when cars cut in. Lane keeping is more of a gentle nudge than a tug, which I appreciated on long interstate runs. One thing to note, blind spot monitoring isn't standard on the lower trims, so if you care about that, move up the ladder. In the NX, Lexus builds on that same safety suite, but sharpens it up. The NX 350 Luxury I tested had a smoother lane tracing system that kept me dead center without bouncing between markers. The curve speed management feature surprised me. It actually slowed the car into off-ramps without me touching the brake. Parking sensors, auto-braking in tight spots, and even rear seat reminders are all baked in. Everything just felt more refined, more aware, and less twitchy. Whether you're running errands or taking a long haul, both SUVs keep you covered. But Lexus definitely gives you a more polished edge when it comes to safety behavior. When it comes to warranty coverage, both Toyota and Lexus stick to the script, but Lexus throws in a little extra. With the 2025 RAV4, you're looking at a 3-year or 36,000-mile basic warranty and a 5-year or 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. Toyota also includes 2 years or 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance, which covers oil changes, tire rotations, and basic inspections. That's a solid perk in the mainstream SUV world and saves you a few $100 in the early ownership years. The 2025 Lexus NX, being the luxury sibling, extends that coverage a bit. It comes with a 4-year or 50,000-mile basic warranty and a 6-year or 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. But here's the twist: complimentary maintenance only lasts 1 year or 10,000 miles. So while you're getting longer warranty coverage, you're actually getting less free service time than what Toyota offers. That feels a little backward, considering the price jump. In my time owning Toyotas and test driving Lexus crossovers, I've never had issues with reliability or dealership service. But in terms of low-cost ownership, the RAV4 gives you more free maintenance up front, while Lexus gives you longer peace of mind over the long haul. So after all these talks and comparisons, I think I can give you a solid recommendation. Between these two, I'd take the RAV4 and keep the extra 10 grand in my pocket. It gives you the space, fuel economy, and reliability Toyota's known for, and it does everything most folks need in a daily driver. The NX looks sharp and drives smoother, no doubt, but unless you're chasing luxury or want that turbo pull, the upgrade isn't worth the price gap. I've driven both in city traffic on highways and on weekend runs. The RAV4 held its own in every category that actually matters to real-life driving. For me, it's the smarter choice.